The quickest way for me to tell that a man doesn't have experience with being raised by a father that was loving, or maybe he just had no father at all, is a man's lack of value around treating a woman in a romantic way. You know, not for nothing, some people are not romantic for men when they complain about doing those little romantic things that all women really like. You know what I mean? I just see it as maybe they're neurodivergent on the spectrum, or they are aromantic, right? So look up that term, where they don't value romance. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for men like that, they can be more mechanical and pragmatic, and they would have to be with a woman that also does not value romance, so that way the woman won't feel underappreciated. But if you know you're a lover girl and a romantic girl, it's very important for you to stay away from these men, because it will deplete your femininity. You will never be able to be feminine or soft with a man that is not romantic, because your body's intelligence reads that as lack of love, as disinterest, right? So if your love language is someone being able to be expressive and romantic, imagine dealing with a guy where they don't value that. You're gonna feel used. You see what I'm saying? So that's something you want to be mindful of. But for me personally, you know, I have to stay clear of men that don't have experience with being romantic. Okay, because those men too, they'll have needs. But me as a woman, where in order for me to fulfill someone else's needs or be able to love a man, I would need to be poured into in a way in which that says you also speak my love language. So you guys need to think about that. So opposed to complaining or, you know, feeling some type of way about a guy not being romantic with you, you don't know if it's either maybe he just doesn't like you enough, right? But at the same time, you don't know if maybe this guy isn't like that. So men will appease you. And for me, I never like to tell a guy what I like, because I don't want him to be doing things just to get me, because that's not going to be sustainable. However, if we just meet and I just watch how he treats me, and I'm like, okay, so this is the way he loves, and I would have to choose whether or not it's enough for me, right? Because, you know, in order for my coochie to start cooing, I'm a big lover girl. I love the flowers. I love the little gifts. I love acts of service. I love emotional security and connection. I love to be able to pillow talk in Jones. And if a guy is not like that, like there are men that, like, say for example, men that are avoidant, they love to love you from afar. For me, I'm gonna forget those kind of men exist. It's like out of sight, out of mind, right? Because if, you know, I also want to have sex and this guy's trying to love me from afar, I'm basically dealing with a man that I'm never gonna have sex with, because what the fuck is that? My coochie would never call. His dick can't call my coochie. And that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the full 9 yards. I'm here for the full 9 yards. But we're never gonna get there if he don't have what I got, and I can't give him what he needs. And it's because I'm a lover girl and he's not a lover boy. Or maybe he just don't have enough emotional intelligence. We're not aligned there. So look at us at a standstill. You ladies need to put that into perspective, because a lot of you have been asking me what do you do with a guy that's not romantic? Leave him for a woman that's also not romantic. Leave him for a woman that's not romantic. Leave him for a woman that don't want nothing but to hook up and have sex. Okay? Don't even stress them out in expecting anything. You just need to see what he's about and then leave him exactly where he is. Because society loves to shame men that are simps. And I feel like if you women focus more on the simps, you'll be a lot more happy. You'll be a lot more happy, and men would see that there's a lot more success being like that, because so many women are used to not being loved, and then they'll just settle for the crumbs of sex, and then y'all realize why y'all can't have sex consistently, and it's because the conditions were never ideal to begin with, but because you were famished and feral, you took any crumb of dick that was available, and that will never have longevity. That's why these niggas can't even last a long period, because they themselves don't even realize the kind of emotional security and connection that they need to have long dick. Yes. A lot of these men, their penis is not working because of emotional dysfunction. That's why their penis is not working. They won't tell you that. But you ladies have to be able to have the discernment to realize, oh, he can give me this little dick because chemistry is strong right now, but he's not going to be able to give me this consistently because he's not really emotionally available. The key to consistent dick is emotional availability. That's the key, okay? A man that will serve you, center you, and love you the way you want is a man that really wants you, and is a man that's emotionally available. I come from a family where, everybody married. Everybody married. And all these men are simps. And I'm just like, wow, they just calling men being adequate fathers simps. Think about that. And mind you, this is really coming from a collective of men that never really had daddies. You see what I'm saying? And then they'll shame the men that managed to do better than their fathers by actually being around and loving a woman right. But then men will shame them. These niggas be dumb and making suggestions to perpetuate shit that don't even make sense, and then turn around and wonder why a lot of women don't want to be with men or date, because be fucking for real.